Hello chaps, well we've got a special edition today. I'm currently sat outside a hospital because my girlfriend is very far along in a pregnancy and she's going in for a check, so I'm not allowed in obviously because of COVID. So I thought I'd do a little webinar on picking 3G114 and 3G114E and why you can have trouble with the E. Alright chaps, because this is from experience, so I thought I'd pass on a little bit of knowledge. Okay, so this is the 3G114, not the oldest version, but like the next one. Okay, so what we have is what we like to call standard H levers, and as you can see, it sits directly onto the stump. Okay, and this is important when it comes to picking these over the E version. Okay, so this is the actual lever pack that's in there now. So we've got a 2, 4, 4, 1, 4 reading closest to us, away from us. So the closest one to us is actually a 2, and if you notice, there's actually no anti-pit notch at all on them. So these are called, I've heard them called fast drop levers. Okay, so they're meant to frustrate picking, i.e. very hard to bind and they'll drop quickly. Alright chaps, so the actual code for the starting pick is A, B, B, A, B. Alright, so that's that one, okay, and we'll show you how quick that one will pick, okay. Now moving on to the E, and straight away you can see the difference, i.e. the size of the bolt, 20mm throw. But what you'll notice also is that the levers do not sit directly on the stump, they're just going to lie there on top of the curtain, okay. So you're trying to get tension from that stump onto these levers, and straight away you can see that lever number 1, okay, is a lever number 1. But if you look closely at it, can you see it says 5A? Okay, so A refers to the lever number 1, but it doesn't have an anti-pit notch in it. And again, this is one of these fast drop things, okay. But the actual lever pack is 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, so all very high lifts, okay. So I'm going to show you, sorry, before I carry on, so the actual starting pick order is A, B, A, okay? Remember that, and I'm going to show you, when I pick it, why it won't pick like that, and what you can do to get around it, okay? Because these are pretty, they're tough to pick, even with the starting pick, but as long as you know what you're looking out for, and different little techniques that you can try, you'll soon get round them, and you'll be living the dream. Alright, chaps? Right chaps, well this is how we're going to roll fucking live video, alright, so we've got the old Chubb 3G114 set up. So as I said before, we've got 24414, so A, B, B, A, B, okay, so there we go, in the thing, A, B, B, A, B. So I'm just going to have to move it towards me because I'm sat in my van in a freezing fucking car park, but this is how we're going to roll. I need to keep my mind occupied. So what we're going to do, grab the bolt and we're just going to test them now. Alright, so we've got A, B, 4, 5, 4, 3, and we've already got the lock. You see that? Already got the fucking lock. Alright chaps, and I mean, this is one I've done off a door, okay, so I've picked this live on the job. Right, so that's how easy, if you get the readings right, you can do the job, okay. So I was just showing you that for purpose. So the old 3G114's piece of fucking piss when you know what you're doing. Because one, when you put your plasticine key and you take a lever readings from the back of the levers, okay, lever 1s and 2s definitely do not mark, alright? And this is really important, definitely do not mark. A little mark for the fucking B pins and quite a long mark for the C pins, so you cannot go wrong when reading them, alright? So I'm just going to pause the video and I'm going to set up the 3G114E. Right, so now we're back. Alright chaps, so this is the 3G114E, the newer version, obviously bigger bolts. And as you can see, I've got my original readings there. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. They're the lever heights, alright? So that is A, B, A. And as you can see, I've got it set up A, B, A. Now you're going to see the fucking difference, okay? But this is where you cannot flap, right? So in we go. Oh, balance that. Right, we're going to grab the bolt. You can see the bolt moving a little bit, alright? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we can fucking do this all day, but the lock will not open. Alright, so I'll do it again. I'm still keeping the tension. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more pass. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so absolutely no joy. In fact, the only lever that I felt like I got anything out of was number 2. And you can see it's not made a difference to the pin stack at all. Now then, you're saying, what the fuck do we do? Well, first thing you need to remember on the 3G114Es is when you take a plasticine reading, lever 1s and 2 heights, which normally in the older version do not mark at all. In these, they will give a slight mark. Okay, so you need to differentiate between them and a B. Big point. All right. So if you see a mark automatically on the old ones, you think, all right, sound, that's a B. On these, it's not. It's probably an A. Okay, so you need to differentiate between a B mark and a slight A mark. All right, because this why I had a nightmare with this fucking lock, an absolute nightmare. It took me about a fucking hour. All right. Next thing, obviously, these are all pretty high lifts. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. Even 3's like the highest of the B pack. All right, so they're all very high lifts. So we're struggling to get legs on these fucking fast drop levers and all that kind of stuff. So this is where the number 1 pins come into effect. All right, chaps. So I'm just going to pause the video because I'm actually balancing this camera on my starting case. All right. Right. Well, we're back. So this is really important, guys. Okay. So remember what the code. Sorry, because I forgot the fucking flashing on it. Remember what the code was. If I can get it on, there we are. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. So 4 of the 5 are A's. Okay. Now, as you know from previous videos, A's are only possibly a 1 or a 2 lever. Okay. And actually, in the Stad and Pick set, you have the option to put number 1 levers straight in, and obviously you don't touch them. So what I'd suggest you do, okay, and thankfully for us, 1 second, if you can see levers number 3 and 5, okay, they're both A's. So what you're going to do is, you're having no joy, why not test them out with a 1, okay, which is what I've done here. So if I can just show you that now. So you can see in levers position 3 and 5, I've put 1s, okay. So you're only going to test them out, you know what I mean? It might not be correct, they might actually be 2s, but obviously we know that they're 1s. But this is what you do in the field. You'd think, right, well, fuck it, I'm going to test them out. Obviously, you don't touch them, so I'm going to show you now and see if the lock picks, all right? You've got a 50-50 shot when it's an A, if you think about it logically. So what we're going to do... Oh, fucking hell. That's not right secure, is it? Right, so, remember, we're going to grab the lock now, and we're going to miss levers 3 and 5. This is important, really important, alright? So if you've put a number 1 pin into your pick, do not fucking touch them, otherwise you'll end up getting your pick jammed in. So we're going to go 1, okay? 2, miss 3. 4, miss 3. Back to 2. Back to 1, okay? 2, miss 3. On to 4. It feels like we're actually getting somewhere. 2, 1, 2, 4, miss 3, 2. Hey! And there we have the fucking lock. So there you go, guys. If you are having difficulty with these motherfuckers, stick 1 pins in, okay? If you're not sure, stick a number 1 pin, right? So let me just get that back so you can see how it actually ended up, and you can actually see can you see, oh fucking hell, a bit shiny there, yeah, can you see the pin number 1 height? Now it's actually raised to a number 1, and look at the pin in number 2, that's actually raised to near enough a number 2 height. So we've actually, that's more or less the key there. So watch this now. I'm going to reset the lock, press it all back down. Okay. There we go. Pressed it all back down. So I'm just going to show you one more time. Okay, so we've got number 1 pins in 3 and 5. So I hope you're following this train of thought, guys, alright? Because, you know, I've had a nightmare. No one taught me. So So I had to learn this shit out for myself, alright? So, grab the bolt, just try it now. And remember, sorry about that, I had a phone call. Right, so, back to where we was going. Oh, alright, so, remember what I said, number 1 pins in 3 and 5 position, alright? And you see how hard it was to pick without them. So basically it's because the levers are that good and they're not sat and binding nicely with the stumps. You know, this is obviously a better design. That, you know, they're harder to pick. It's as simple as that. And you'd expect that from a fucking fairly well-priced lock. So here we go. 1, 2, miss 3, 4, miss 3 again. Make sure you know you don't fuck it up. 2, 1, 2, miss 3, onto 4, and you think you're not getting anywhere, but trust me, you are. Onto 1, onto 2, 4, miss 3. You have to be conspicuous when you're missing. Hey, and there we go. Right, we got the fucking lock. All right. So that is that theory. Now you say, well, I wonder if it would work if we replaced, so as you can see I've put number 1 pins in 3 and 5. Let's try it with a number 1 pin in just the first position, alright chaps? Don't know if it's going to work, 'cause I've not tried it, but so let's see. Right, we're back. Okay, so as you can see, let me just bring this a bit closer in. You can see that I've put a number 1 height in the first lever height and the rest are A's and B's. So let's actually see if this will work. Okay. And this is the beauty about the A's and the number 1 pins, because it's a 50-50 shot, but if there are a 1 or a 2 lever, it's as simple as that. So you can just work your way through, you know what I mean? So obviously we miss 1, onto 2, onto 3, onto 4, onto 5, and I can almost tell that 5 and 3 have got note to them, you know what I mean? Because of that higher lift, you know, I can't feel anything on them. So I'm actually not optimistic that we're going to get an open on this. And this is what happens when you get loads of high lifts. 3, 4, 5. We're going to do it a few times like that. 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, having absolutely no joy. Now, you'd be tempted to put loads of tension on to try and get them to bind, but why? When you know the tool does what it's supposed to do. Oh, I felt a little kick then actually. Let's just keep trying a second more. A few more passes. You have to be careful you do not touch that pin. Oh, nearly, see? Didn't follow me on advice. Let it do what it's doing. So, we're going to get this back out of the pick. So, as you can see, just by putting number 1 pin, it didn't work. The lock didn't want to pick. Just simply because it's got so many high lifts in it. Alright, chaps, well, I hope you enjoyed that little video. Because, you know, it's important to know these things, especially when you come across the new Chubb 3G114Es. I say new, they're not that new, but you know what I mean, the British standard versions, basically. The old ones, they pick like a piece of piss. Because you know the difference between a 2 and a 1, because generally it goes into anti-pick when it's a 1, so you knock it up to 1 height anyway. Right, well, I've waffled on fucking long enough, right? Hopefully my missus will be out of hospital soon because I am fucking freezing. Anyway, take care chaps, and on to the next one.